Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Altered Zego here, and what I'm going to be talking to you tonight is a match between myself, the red Terran in the bottom right corner, Altered Zego, and in the top left we have a green Protoss Solon, who is a guy that I practice with. This is a custom game that we created. I had been kind of working on this new strategy for Protoss, and basically the purpose of this video is to kind of show off some of the dynamics of that. It's very similar to the mech build that you generally will see from against Zerg, against Mutaling. As you can see, we're going to throw down our supply depot at 9. We're going to continue building SCVs. And what we're going to be going through for is some Thor pressure. And now I'm going to say that we both kind of tend to be macro players, and I scouted him out, and you can see that he's only throwing down one gateway right now, and he's throwing down the forge. So I kind of have an idea that he's not going to be attacking early and giving me some early pressure to worry about. Now I will say with this build, if they do give you early pressure, specifically in the form of zealots, you can either use Marines, because I do set up a bunker. I do have a little bit of a defense at the initial start. Or you can also go with some Hellion to deal with some of the pressure that you get from Zealots. That's usually probably by then they're going to have transitioned somewhat to Stalkers, but you know, we're just going to see as I continue to build up my economy. I'm getting early gas, of course, because this is going to be a very gas-heavy build. And you're going to see that in a second, I'm going to start throwing down some factories. There I go. I'm going to throw down 2 of them, because that's really the most number of factories when you're producing Thor that you can do off of a single base. That's, I mean, pretty much the max. As you can see, I'm continuing to produce some Marines, and we can see that Solon is also continuing to macro up, producing more gateways, and he's getting ready to expand. Again, this was a game where there is no early pressure. This may not be the perfect build if it is something you're in a game where there is a lot of early pressure going on. As we can see, I'm going to continue producing these factories, and I'm also throwing down an armory, of course, because that is required for Thor. Now, like I said, if it's something where you're getting some early pressure, you could use these factories and just throw out some Hellion if you're getting pressured by some Zealots or something like that. But, like I said, in this match, we didn't really have to worry about that. And you can see here, I'm going for my expansion, because I'm going to definitely need the gas from this expansion. Not so much the mineral, but the gas is very important to me. And you can see I'm getting my first 2 Thor out, and we're 8 minutes and 29 seconds in the game. Now I'm going through this game rather quickly because at the beginning it's pretty much a standard build. It's the stuff that you've seen before, nothing too advanced here or anything like that. I should mention that both Solon and I are gold level players. He's ranked a little bit higher than me. I think he's first in his particular gold league. And you can, you know, he's, I think, going to probably get boosted up to platinum before too long. But, you know, this is something where, you know, I've been trying different builds. I actually have a pretty good record against Protoss. It's one of my favorite races to play against. But this was just something I was kind of playing with for fun, and, you know, you're going to kind of see what I do with it here. So as we're going to continue to macro up, he's producing more gateways, of course, and, you know, getting his saturation up. Solon is really, really good about macro. You can see full saturation here. I don't know what that was about. I guess it was blocking something. And you're going to see, you know, he's getting a Twilight Council. And in a second, I think I scanned that. And, you know, I'm going to see that, oh, he's going to go for that. That's fine. I can deal with I don't have to worry about Psystorm so much because, you know, these units are A, huge, so you're not going to hit very much if you Psystorm. And B, they have a lot of hit points. Excuse me. And, you know, the biggest concern I have, actually, is feedback, because you can see this Thor here has 172 energy, and, you know, he can just do that all in damage. And that's actually part of the reason, and you're going to see this later as I throw down another factor. You're going to see that I'm going to actually get, and I've actually gotten it already, the 250mm strike cannons. Now this is a upgrade that not a lot of people use, and I kind of understand why. It's not particularly effective because it only goes against one unit or a building or something like that. It's actually really good against Colossuses. It's good against Ultralisk, but the other thing it's really good at is for sniping buildings, and we're going to see that in a bit. As you can see, I throw down a Raven because I'm kind of worried. I don't totally know what he's got, and I know he's got a Templar Archive, or a Twilight Council and a Templar Archives. There we go. That's the Templar Archives up, and so I'm a little bit concerned about Dark Templar. So I was like, yeah, I'll just throw up a Raven. You know, that'll help protect me, and I can move it around. I don't have to waste my scans. As you can see, I'm continuing to macro up, build up my economy, and I've got a good force here. Let's see, I've got 10 Thor. It's 16 minutes in, so I mean, that's not, you know, terribly fast, but it's reasonable. And he's got, well, you can see here, he's got a whole bunch of Zealots, a lot of Stalkers, and then, of course, some High Templar. Now, this is the part that I kind of wanted to show off. As you can see, I'm going to get 3 medevacs, and I'm going to go over here, and we're going to see, I'm going to go for his expansion. Now, I haven't scouted him very well because I don't know he has this expansion, but I know he expanded here. So I'm going to go ahead, and I'm going to go back here, and I'm going to Thor drop into his base. Now, this is... normally you would use a ledge or something like that, but because I have these strike cannons, you'll see here, watch the health on this Nexus. Vroom. In fact, I actually screwed up, and see this one here, he did not use his strike cannon. So not only do I kill a whole bunch of probes, but you know, I'm these feedback aren't going to do that much damage because I already used the energy. And actually, he attacked back up here while I was doing that. That was part of the other reason I wasn't really paying enough attention and I didn't get all the strike cannons out. But what the nice thing about those strike cannons is that, you know, they can take down a building in 6 seconds. A Nexus or a Command Center, they do 500 damage over 6 seconds. So that's a lot of damage over a very short period of time. And it's something where you can knock out buildings very quickly. You can drop in, strike cannon, and then get out before they can really shift their forces around. Now, I kind of suspect that he's got another base up, and I'm like, alright, well, I've got my Thors for defense. You know, I don't have to worry about him sending a large force at me, although he's going to do that right here, as we'll see. So I'm going to go ahead and get some Hellions up, and I'm going to go do some scouting, and we'll see if we can find out where he is and do some harass. Although it's kind of late to be harassing, but whatever. So as you can see, I'm sitting out my Hellions. It actually ended up being perfect timing, and he's got his units here. And I'm going to come in here and screw up some and run around. And as you can see, I'm going to get in here and kill off a lot of his probes. He's going to kill these off, but, you know, damage is done, and I've taken out this other base, and so now he basically doesn't have any economy. And so, you can see here, he's going to continue to feed back my Thors, but I've used some of those strike cannons, so they don't have, some of them don't have as much energy. And yeah, you can see he just throws up his hands because he really can't deal with this many hit points, especially with the SCVs. Healing them. I mean, that's a very useful feature. It's great to be able to throw those in. And really, the only thing that these Thors are going to really be weak against are they're going to be weak against carriers. Carriers are an issue, but that's a really high-end unit. Of course, so are Thors. But if you see them going a whole bunch of warp gates, you're pretty well sure that they're not going to be going carriers. So as you see, I'm going to expand and. You know, he's asking me because he was surprised I could get all this off on 2 base. And if I'd gotten more bases, it would have been a more effective build, would have been faster. But because of how this map is, there's not really a good expansion. I could have gone for this one here or whatever. But essentially, what I was trying to show off a little bit is how you can use those strike cannons more effectively and how you can use these Thor against the Protoss. And because it's not a very common unit to use against Protoss, a lot of Protoss players don't really know how to react to it. They'll think, you know, I'll go High Templar, I will go, you know, Dark Templar, they'll go Colossus. And like I said, that strike cannon is really good against those Colossus. And these units here, they really chew up Stalkers. So I just wanted to kind of show this off and show it as another way of dealing with Protoss for people that are having issues with Protoss, because looking at the win percentages, it looks like a lot of people are. And this is a relatively easy build, a very, very good build to use against Protoss. Well, really, that's all I have to show tonight. I hope this was kind of informative. This was my first video, so I'm still kind of figuring out how to, you know, do this and what to say and all that, but hopefully it was good. And thank you for listening, and good night and good gaming.